Welcome. I just purchased this for about 50 bucks at a train show, and it definitely is a hidden gem. It's Bachmann. It's a 060, and it is the saddle tank switcher. Comes DCC ready, Santa Fe. It looks to me, and I ran at DC, and it runs beautifully slow and smooth. I don't think it's been run very much at all. This thing is pretty much like new. So I'm gonna take a look inside and see how we can hook up a decoder and maybe a speaker to this. All that coming up next. Okay, so let's take a look inside of this and see what we have. Okay, let's grip it back here. Okay. Well, that goes all the way up and through. Let's see if that did it or not. Yeah. Very well could be this little screw right here. I don't know. The coupler. Let's see. So I got the shell off. I had to go off camera. It took quite a bit. One thing to take note of, though, is that there are some pieces that go back here that were glued. Now, I do not know if the previous owner tried taking it off and glued them or it came like that from the factory. I think it came like that from the factory. But there are a couple of pieces that go like this before you pull the chassis off. So they connect here, okay? So they're underneath, this is underneath the bottom and it goes like this, okay? Plug that in. These will have to be glued back in or something, but it's like this. This has to tuck in there like that, right? In order to push up and go on like that. Now, when this is all the way down, which I'm not going to do at the moment, but when this is all the way down, this is flush with the bottom here. You see that? So this whole piece goes up and in. But this, I was able to slide out nicely. Okay, you still see it has the notches that plug right into that. But the other one cracked. Just because it was glued in prior. I couldn't get it out whether I tried carefully or not. So that is something to take into consideration when you take this apart. You can see how it comes off. So if I get it in close like that, it's not all the way down yet, okay? Because there's two notches. This notch is in and that notch is into a hole on the side of this. Okay, and then the rest pushes up and in, and there's just one screw that goes in there and comes out. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Now there's a lot of weight that they had in here that was in the sides here. I pulled all that out because you could see it through the windows. Now it looks much better. Just thinking ahead. Okay, so now that we have the shell off, looking at our motor and track leads, these look like the track leads right here. Okay, those look like the track leads. These are your lights, the LEDs. There's one here, and it looks like there's one in the floor down here because this is where the light filters through and up to come up through the back. And the other portion of that is right here. That's a plastic lens right in there that runs up through this channel and to here. So that's really nice because we can position our LEDs in these areas somehow. So what I want to do is take a look underneath this little floor, which is very nice because it closes off the cab under here. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see more. Because it closes off the bottom floor of the cab, but at the same time, what it does is it protects the light from glowing from the bottom up into the cab, because that wouldn't be a good thing. That would be kind of nasty. So this is kind of nice because these screws look like they only come in from the top. So loosen these. It looks like this should be safe to remove. Looks like it will be. It's coming. Let's take a look under there, you and me together, and see whether... There's our light. Yep, right there. It's perfect. And when it closes, that light just sits there. And it looks like our motor power from theirs is running right here. Right here. There's one screw holding this in place. The decoder. And this is DCC ready, so I believe you can, if you wanted to, connect your decoder to these spots right here. That is my guess. These track wires go underneath. The track wire goes underneath here. And I see it running back in here. And connecting to the copper tabs. So it's definitely where the track power is coming from. So we have a plan. And we'll start there. Okay, so let's start disassembling the existing decoder here. I'm going to start by snipping these guys right about here. Okay. Then there is, that loosens that up pretty good. There's a little screw we want to take off, which is right about here. Right underneath this guy. Let's clip that too so I can get to that screw. Okay. Okay, that comes out. There's our decoder all taken apart. Snip this as close as I can, right about here. Okay. Keep as much length to that track wiring. This is the track wire here, this black and red one. Let's see, right there. Okay. That gets that out of the way, and now we have to remove the lights. So I think in order to remove this light under here, just gonna take this off, and this should lift up a little bit. Okay, and then this light comes out. Okay, but I'm gonna put that back in a little bit. So we got that one off. And then this little floor pulls out like so. Okay. All right, let's back off. I'll show you what I mean. So that whole piece comes out. There's our decoder, existing decoder. And so what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to use these lights, I think I'll cut this here in case I ever do. Let's pull that out of there like that. And make sure that our LED sits right in that little circle when we add a new one. But for now, let's put this back so we keep it together in a nice organized fashion. There we go. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's take that off. Let's see, very carefully here. It's not completely isolated, so probably going to do is put some tape down here, all through here. All right, let's see how that fits. Yeah, I think we're good. That's and I think that once we put this in, it'll go back flat. Yep. That should keep it right where we need it. Very nice. We'll go with that. So let's snip these guys right there. So we don't need that either. Should be isolated now. Okay, so I'm in the process of adding an LED. This is for the rear light, okay? So this panel goes down here like so. I took it off, flipped it over, running my LED to do this. Okay, let me see if we can get a good focus in here. Do you see how the square LED is facing this plastic clear piece? Okay, so it needs to face it straight on, like that. Okay, so then when it sends it up through here, it'll then feed the rest of the way up through here and out here, right here. Okay, let's put it back in here now. It should fit just fine. Don't see any issues there, hopefully not. So we got that light in place. All right. Now, before we do anything else, let's test it. There we go. See the light? That should filter up really well. Okay. Onward. Okay. Spin it around and we'll take the front off. So now what we need to do is to locate one right in here that faces outward this way. But we don't want to go into this section we don't want to run it into here. We want to keep that LED right in here because there's a little piece, you can see right here, this piece. See that distance right there from the top? That's what slides right into there, in here. I want to kind of fill the whole bottom portion out here, as you can see. So we got to make sure that LED's right in there. Okay, so we're going to feed it. We're going to make sure that yellow box, the front of that yellow box, faces straight out. Just kind of push it down. Like so. You see? And there you have it. Okay, that should work pretty good. And then let's test this. Back down and over. Shouldn't be any issue there. Not at all. See if you guys can see it from there when I hook it up. And there it is. Can you guys see it? I can hold it in place for a while. There we go. Let's take a look. So there it is, okay? And hopefully that will help us achieve what we need to do here with the LEDs. We're gonna have our decoder probably back here. And speaker up in here. Maybe not this thick though. I don't think it's gonna work, but all right, well that is it for our LEDs. All right, let's get some solder on these wires. All right. Okay. All right. Next, need to get a little bit on this portion of the motor right here. Great. And this portion right here. There we go. And this is ready for connecting. We are ready for our decoder track connections and light connections. And when we get that decoder, we'll be attaching the motor connections to this here and this here. All right, be back. Okay, so I have the track power and the motor all hooked up here, and everything else is just all over the place. But I'm gotta say, I have test run this, okay, and it runs amazingly smooth. Check this out. Like, that's at 3 right there. I'm gonna back up so how slow that's going. And it's quiet. Incredibly amazing. Okay, so I'm just impressed with this Locomotive by Bachmann. So we're using a 58823 ESU decoder. I do have my lighting all set up as I shown previous in this video. The wires are not connected, they're all over the place, but and safely not touching any metal right now. But it's just remarkably slow, and I just wanted to show you guys this. So, and I'm hoping I can keep the decoder right there in the back, standing straight up, because there's a little spot that we could fill it in the cab of this steam locomotive. So anyway, that's where we're at with this. Let me see now, real quick. Let me just show you. Let's go down. I'm using my NCE power cab. This is 2. Wow. I did not expect it to run this well. Let's see if 1 has enough to push it. That's 1. Wow, that's all I could say. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really nice. All right. Let's get the lights in. Let's get the sound in. Okay, so here's how I have the wiring going so far. I'm using this existing little track area that they had, where they were running down their original lighting wires right here. So they were running down their wires here and bringing it. Now this section underneath here is open. This is open. But we have areas right here, where we're gonna have to carve out a little bit of the underbelly of the tank here. That would be this area right in here. I'm gonna have to carve some of that out, I think. Because in order to hide some of this, that's what we're gonna have to do. Here's the decoder on the back. Looks a little funky right now, but that decoder is gonna fit right in the back slot right in here. Okay, so that's where we're at. A lot of wires pulling through here, and I'm probably going to put a little bit of tape on the top of that too, because they have some metal, liquid metal as an extra weight up there, which I'm going to use. The speaker, couldn't use the full compartment under here for big sound, but we got most of it. You go with the space you have. Now I just have the lights here, and they're already kind of preset here, right? And I'm hoping they can lay in here. So I'm gonna hook those up. Then I'll work on carving out whatever I need to here, and I hope it isn't too much. But I know that I have to do some. We'll be back. Okay, so lighting is all connected. Right here. The front is traveling all the way up and around to the front there. This is our common, the blue, connected to both front and back. And here's our yellow coming down, and it goes right underneath here, these wires, that LED. So everything's connected. Now we just have to hope that we can get that shell back on. Okay, so we're looking at the front of the train here. That's the front. Got all our wiring happening here and tucked in with some black electrical tape. So primarily just snaking everything down this way and curling it to this side, because this is where all the wires are coming off of our decoder. Now most of what we're looking at here, if not all, is primarily underneath the windows in here. That's what I'm hoping for. I may even have to cover up some of these back ends, these top portion here of the decoder. We'll see. I just want it to look all black in there, but it's running really good. I think I'm going to put some lube it up in there. But I think we're doing pretty good here. It's running great. And the next steps are going to be to try to figure out what I can chisel out of here. It's plastic, so I'm going to probably use my rotary tool and see if I can't just cut away at some areas under there that are way down by the floor, and hopefully we don't see them. Okay? That's it for now. All right, back at the workbench, you guys, and update. I got the shell fitting and everything, so our configuration here is working pretty well. Let me come back and I'll show you with the shell on. Okay, so here we are with the shell back on. As you can see, you cannot see the decoder in the back. See that? You see partial black tape, but it's kind of hidden, which is a wonderful thing. And like I say, inside of there is still some of this liquid metal they poured in there, and you can see it on the tank inside, but I'm going to touch all that up. But I wanted to show you just how that looks. I don't have any sound in this yet, and I still may retouch some stuff. But the lights are working great, front and back. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put this engineer in here. I'm not sure if I even showed you guys that yet, but he looks super nice in the window there, because his arm kind of sticks out the window and almost looks like he's tilting out, watching everything. But he's kind of more of a modern guy, but I don't know, I might just go with it. And then there's just a few more things that go back on here. And then we'll be all set. A couple little pieces back here, and then there's the ladders that come down from the doors. I'm gonna put some putty on these areas right here, okay, where the previous owner or the manufacturer had glue. Now this stuff, I'm gonna say it again, it's so fantastic. I may actually take that off. I'm going to do a little less. You don't need much to keep things sticking on there, okay? You really don't. If you spread it out just right, you won't see it. You know, you can really thin this stuff down and keep it right where it needs to go, because this is going to go like this, okay? See that? We'll get that down and on there, like so. And we'll get it, flatten it out enough. So I noticed these two little rods in the front, they insert into the holes, which is first and foremost. So I get them kind of angled in there. Let's see. Wires are going good. Everything's going in, not getting crimped. And that just clicks in. Just like that. So far, so good. As we were saying here, we're going to put these guys in. Let's do the one that actually already sticks pretty well and has both of its plugs. Okay. Let's get him in. Get him in nice and tight. I am seeing just a little bit. I thought that putty might be just a little further back. Let's see if I can tuck that in, because that bothers me. Or we'll just take it back off again. But just push it up there nice and tight. All right, here we go. Let's get this guy in here like so. That's right where he goes. Okay, we got those in. There they are. Okay, now we'll add our ladder. I'm gonna put this one on here, like so. Like that. There we go. And there's our finished look there. 2 additional pieces on the back, looking good. Okay, lastly, we're gonna put our screw in here, like so. Tighten the rest of this in. And there she is. There you have it. She is done. We'll get this guy, we'll get her on the test track, and I'll show you what she looks and sounds like. Okay, just got through cleaning up the workspace to move up to reveal our loco. Look at that. How's that looking? All right, so here we are. Here's our locomotive. We got our engineer in there. Let's start it up. So we've got a headlight, bell. Let's get our headlight going here. There we go. I'm doing this with one hand over off to the side as I'm holding the phone. All right, and then we've got this. All right, let's pull her out. And then we'll pull them forward one more time. Change direction. Thanks again, folks, for another customization of a locomotive here. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.